Ladies and gentlemen, this has been one of the craziest days in news that I think that I have ever dealt with. It is official. DK Metcalf of the Seattle Seahawks has just requested a trade from his very own organization. As you can see, Tom Pelissero, two-time Pro Bowl wide receiver, DK Metcalf, has requested a trade. And the crazy thing about this, folks, is that Seattle is shopping this around. They are allowing him to find potential trade partners, which is completely mind-boggling because not 3 minutes before this news ultimately ended up breaking, we saw that Tyler Lockett was being released, a longtime wide receiver of the Seattle Seahawks organization. And I got to tell you what, this name has been circulating around in speculation surrounding the Buffalo Bills, several other teams. I'm going to go out and just say this right now, folks. I do not see the Buffalo Bills being contenders in this overall situation. I really, really don't. However, he is going to be moved to a team that has a significant amount of cap room. If I am a gambling man, I genuinely believe it's going to be either the Las Vegas Raiders reunited with Pete Carroll and or the New England Patriots, who seemingly have all of the money on the face of the planet. But right now we are looking at DK Metcalf himself has requested a trade from the Seattle Seahawks. If you are coming in here, folks, please do me a favor, smash that like button. If you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already, we are going to open up a roundtable discussion as into what this means for everybody across the NFL. I do want to take a deeper understanding and a deeper look into exactly what this would mean for whatever NFL organization is interested in bringing him in. And we have to look at Spot Track, right? Because currently, when you look at DK Metcalf's contract over here on the Seattle Seahawks, okay? Last year of his deal, 2025 is the last remaining year of his deal. In 2026, he is an unrestricted free agent. He has an $18 million base salary. Signing bonus was already split up based off of his bonus previously. However, a cap hit of $31.8 million would be subjected to the Seattle Seahawks for whatever team decides to move forward with, which is wildly, wildly intriguing right now. Now, what happens to the Seattle Seahawks cap situation if this ultimately comes to fruition? A trade would save them close to $10.8 million in 2025, but a $21 million dead cap hit. If they decide to wait until after June 1st, guys, we are going to be looking at an $18 million savings in 2025, and dead cap would be equally split right down the middle. But absolutely insane. I don't think anybody was anticipating this to happen right now, folks. But DK Metcalf is now arguably the best available wide receiver that we can find. Now, market value. This is a big piece to the conversation that we have right now, folks. How much would this cost a new team that gets in on the conversation? We are looking right now at a $26.1 million average annual salary and 3 years, $78.2 million for the one team that wants to get in on the action. All right, folks. So very, very expensive. From a Buffalo Bills standpoint, I just did a video on Davante Adams. I did, and I can't tell you, right? I can't tell you. I absolutely have to say that I do not believe that the Buffalo Bills would be in the conversation with this wide receiver. Sure, is he a wide receiver number one? Absolutely, he is. No questions about that. However, I don't see him particularly fitting into the mold of this Buffalo Bills offense. I don't believe the Buffalo Bills need a wide receiver to go over 1,000 yards. We are the Moneyball sort of organization that is doing our best to make sure that we are as efficient on offense as humanly possible. However, this is the current status of where we are at. Folks, if you are just coming in, please do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already, and let's open up this conversation. If you wanted to ask me particularly, no, I am not a big fan of adding him to the Buffalo Bills. However, I do believe that he will be joining a team that is in a much better financial situation than Buffalo, such as the Las Vegas Raiders, perhaps, such as the New England Patriots, I think are going to be out there. A lot of different conversations, but I feel terrible for the Seattle Seahawks. Like, they are seeing a massive overhaul at what made that team a team in quite some time. We have habitual line stepper, a Baltimore Ravens fan, coming on in. Long supporter of the show. I appreciate that. I would be amped if my GM wasn't so cheap, because we would have had the advantage with our former DC being a head coach. I am very interested to see if Baltimore is going to go out and actually get Lamar Jackson a true weapon. I could see Baltimore being in the conversation for DK Metcalf. It's interesting, right? Because one thing that I did learn, I knew it, but it just ended up getting brought back to my attention. We all see salary caps for each and every single team across the NFL, and that's the total amount of money that you are allowed to spend. But what I feel like a lot of people don't understand is that these contracts need to be paid by the specific owner, right? That's why I think Cincinnati typically has such a massive issue at being able to sign players, why it's so annoying to watch Cincinnati try and find a deal for Jamar Chase or find a deal for T. Higgins, because their owner in Cincinnati is the second poorest owner in the NFL. So 9 times out of 10, he's not giving them guaranteed money because he has to penny pinch. Just because you have a massive amount of money that you were allowed to spend, it is still very much up to the owner's discretion of whether or not he wants to walk away with that specific deal. So it's not just salary cap implications. It's also, what exactly is this owner going to walk away with? Come on, sign with us. Go, Pack, go. We have a Packers fan in the chat right now. Lotto Money, what is going on? Thank you. Welcome to the show. Folks, if you are just joining, we are sitting here discussing the DK Metcalf news that just ultimately ended up breaking. He has requested a trade from the Seattle Seahawks, and it was literally just minutes after everything was just announced. Everything was just announced that Tyler Lockett was being released. So a lot of changes in the Seattle world right now. Dexy Gaming is coming in and saying, all we need is a deep ball guy so Josh can sling it like crazy again, and we need a man beater. Yes, most definitely. I'm going to go on ahead and pass on DK Metcalf. Number one, as much respect as I have for his game, that's pretty pricey and outside the realm of possibility in my eyes. $26 million per year. And this is just the market value evaluation, by the way, folks. I guarantee you somebody is going to give him close to 30. Somebody will give him close to $30 million, probably right aligned with Justin Jefferson, because that's just how the market tends to change. Large 1923. DK can't win anymore. I say no. Large 1923. Intriguing. If we haven't learned that the cap is very massageable, no pun intended, NFL, then what have we learned? Is this a burner account from Deshaun Watson? I'm just kidding. It's a burner account from Justin Tucker. I am also kidding. It certainly is massageable for sure. But I think that where the Buffalo Bills are specifically, trying to put myself in the shoes of Brandon Beane, he wants to spend money on a game-changing defensive player, specifically on the defensive line. I think that we could really find a bargain wide receiver that just brings a specific skill set that we are looking for. So really interesting. Manny from Facebook just came in and said, DK, Khalil Mack, and Keon Knox and Kincaid at tight end. Explosion. My friend's looking forward to it, man. He has already made the trade on Madden, and he is running. He is running with it right now. I can appreciate it. I feel bad saying this, but if Dontavian Wicks can't ever catch a ball, we might as well release him and then sign DK Metcalf. Well, you know what, man? I am not entirely caught up with your cap space situation. How However, this would be a pretty pricey tag for sure to whoever decides to bring him in. I'm going to tell you what, I have a feeling it's the New England Patriots. If I'm a gambling man, I think it is the New England Patriots. At the very least, they should be looking in DK and Adams and anyone else that comes available, because the Bills wide receiver room is just that. It's just a room. With DK is a take the top off wide receiver. But like, here's the deal about that, Billy. Like, we are talking about an offense that finished number 1 in the NFL for the points per game, right? And we are looking at an offense that was the most statistically successful in Buffalo Bills franchise history. What the Buffalo Bills like to do is that they like to build a wide receiver 1 based off of 3 different guys. Like, build a wide receiver 1 production with 3 different guys. And that's what I think they're trying to do. Like, we have the route runner, or actually, so I'll go ahead and I'll take a step back, right? Like, what is a wide receiver number 1, right? It's somebody that's a great route runner, solid speed, and also a 50-50 ball sort of aficionado. And DK is that guy, bar none, 0 questions asked. What the Buffalo Bills have been doing, and it has been very successful, is that they have a route runner who is Khalil Shakir, who just got paid. He deserves every single penny. Make no mistake about that. And then also, now you have a 50-50 ball guy, which is Keon Coleman. And say whatever you want to say about Keon Coleman. He did wonderfully when it came into 50-50 ball situations this year. Now what the Buffalo Bills are missing is a speedster on the perimeter. So I feel like from Brandon Beane's perspective, he would much rather go out and spend $6 million a year on Hollywood Brown, right? Because he brings the speed. And we are able to mimic a wide receiver 1's sort of production. The biggest need for this Buffalo Bills team is defense. That is for sure. DK gets into too many fights, in my opinion. We want a guy who is going to get us yards and touchdowns, not take them away. I mean, listen, he's an absolute dog, and I have a feeling that he is going to be a great asset to whoever decides to bring him in. 0 questions asked. DK Metcalf, absolutely insane. Bills should try and target Chris Godwin. He's solid, but he's a bit older, and he's a slot receiver. I feel like it would be a bit redundant. Dwight is saying Lockett gets released and now DK wants out. Wow, busy day. It's not even so much that, man. So much has happened. We saw Joe Tooney get traded over to the Chicago Bears. So we also saw Sam Hubbard from the Cincinnati Bengals. He ultimately ended up retiring. A lot of different moving pieces. I'm sure that I'm forgetting things. I have been pumping out so many different TikToks today with breaking news. It's blowing my damn mind right now. Folks, smash the like button if you haven't had an opportunity of doing so already. We are breaking down this together. You can't expect Josh to be Superman. So with every time, I feel like they've fallen short because I don't have another guy. So whether that be on defense or offense, I don't really care, but they need another guy. A defensive lineman is specifically what I am looking at. Medals won't get Bills over the top. Need to fix the defense. Absolutely, I agree with you. Square, we finished number 1 in points per game against bums that will do against elite defenses. So I definitely wouldn't say that it was against bums, especially when we were the only team in NFL history to beat 2 15-win teams by itself. We beat the Detroit Lions, who was the highest at that point. I definitely would not say that it was bums because everybody was freaking out about how difficult our schedule was at the beginning of the season. So I'm not going to take that one. I'm not going to agree with that. Jared Mitchell, DK wants to go to a contender, will either be Kansas City or the Buffalo Bills. It's interesting. I'm not particularly sure how much say he is going to have in the matter, but we shall see. TJ, that would make it the 3 DK amigos on offense. Haha, man. We have a lot of people in here feeling it already. Be foolish not to. Styles Johnson. Look at that. I think the Bills bring in Christian Kirk, if anyone, wide receiver-wise, and then spend all those draft picks on defensive help. That or Hollywood Brown. I'm all in for this. DK is a transformative player in the offense. Keon is not an X-receiver. This will move Keon on the other side where he can thrive. It creates a mismatch heaven for the Buffalo Bills. I think that we can achieve that as well, Derek, but also not spending $26 million a year, close to an $80 million contract. That's kind of where I am sitting. I think the Bills bring in Christian Kirk, if anyone, wide receiver-wise. I absolutely love that. All right, guys, listen. I just wanted to come on here really, really quick. I do need to give a giant shout-out to what is about to happen. Real fast, I'm about to hop on to Roundtable Sports, and that just so happens to be our daily NFL news show. Okay, it's on the Roundtable Sports Network, and we are going to be unpacking the DK Metcalf trade request in detail. We are going to be unpacking all of the crazy ass news that has been happening all day. Do me a favor and go over to Roundtable Sports. We will be live in about 15 minutes where we unpack all of this crazy ass news. I love each and every single one of you. Please subscribe on your way out and turn on bell notifications so you never miss an episode. Smash that like button. And before I let you go, you better always remember, let's go Buffalo.